Hi, how are you doing? I am doing great, thank you very much.
Huh?
I swallow my pride. Right, I made myself a promise that I need to get into my videos real quick because people are like, what is this girl just talking? And it is not your fault. Oh my gosh, I just can't help it. Concentrate. Okay, so today we are talking about a perfect love. Is it a delusion or is it real? I mean, I think I already know the answer, so I'm kind of like skipping ahead here by like saying I think I know the answer by saying that I think that this perfect love that we all desire is 100% possible, but unfortunately the humans of the world behave in certain ways because they are disconnected from the reality of life, that they behave in these ways that are hurtful and that they're not very nice and that they are immature, and then so therefore then it's not possible to find this perfect love like in most humans. But yes, that love is available, and yes, like the humans, we have to strive to become these available perfect loves, but right now I think it is a little bit scarce to find people who are perfect in the ways that we require. Anyway, I'm gonna start by giving you a list which is just quite embarrassing because I decided that I wanted to write down, you know, my perfect life, my perfect job, working scenario, my perfect healing, and I just like wrote them down, and I was like, well, while I'm here I might as well write like my perfect love of what I wish that my perfect love to be. And so then I'm going to read you that list so then we can carry on this conversation. Here we are. Okay, so I'm gonna read you this list of what I want my perfect love to be like, right? Don't judge me. I know you're not gonna judge me, but this is a little bit personal and I'm just a bit embarrassed. But no, I'm not embarrassed, but because I like to think that I live by myself. I don't need nobody else. I don't need anything. So then just kind of like admitting that actually I have a desire to have a partner and I would desire him to be this way. Right, let's get into the list. So they have to be kind to people. They have to like to talk about deep things, like for example, why are we alive and are aliens real and why are we slaves to society? Like these really meaningful, deep conversations. They have to like to talk about those things. Not just talk about it because I want to talk about it, but you also want to talk about it.
Oh no!
They have to be helpful with a mind that is stuck. I was very precise with these wordings because I find that a lot of, no disrespect to men because I think it's something to do with the DNA, but men, and in particular I'm seeing it in my son, which is quite fascinating because my niece, she's like totally able to like read me and to do things that are helpful, whereas my son, he doesn't really know how to read me. And it's like, and I don't know if it's like fear-based that he doesn't know how to read me, and because my niece is not scared of me. Anyway, so I feel like females and males behave in different ways. And so then my son, he's not able to like, and men in general, they're just not able to look at a problem and then just want to dive in and fix the problem. It's like they're good at decision making, like do this or do that, but they're not good at like problem solving and into the deep mess of things. And I want my partner to be able to help a mind when like my mind gets stuck and I'm like, oh, I'm a bit stuck. Like I want him to be able to help me with my mind and talk me through things and help talk through things. And I know that this is not a strong thing in men generally, but I want that. So I don't know that one, I feel like that one is a little bit like so basically you want to be dating a woman. It's like, no, I don't want to be dating a woman. I just want a man to be better at that. And maybe I am generalizing here. Maybe there are men that are like that and that they are able to problem solve for other people and help other people with their brain. I'm sure there are men who are like that. I think I'm just generalizing here. Okay, next thing on the list, problem solver or tries to help, which is a little bit what I was just talking about. So they're a problem solver and they actually try to help. When they see something is wrong, they actually offer to help and try to help and want to help. They are polite when they are speaking, so then they're not rude and they're not like disrespectful. They're polite on purpose. So I'm laughing here because like I bet some people who are very far from this list, they'd be like, well, where are you gonna find that guy? And it's like, literally, I feel like I am the female version of this. So if I'm alive, then other people men Oh my god. There must be a man that mirrors me. There must be. I know that there is anyway, so go away, people who don't believe in this list. They don't like lying. So literally, because now I'm gonna start mirroring me now, because it's like, I guess I made this list to mirror me, but it's like, I just want a guy who actually doesn't like lying. Like, the last thing they'll do is lie. And if they do lie, it's like once in a blue moon, and when they do it, they're like, I just lied. Let me go and fix that. Because that's what I do. Like, I actually rarely ever lie, because I dislike it. I find it unfair to other people's brains. I don't want to make other brains believe things that are not real, and so then I want my partner to be the same way. And then when I do lie and I'm like, I just lied, it's like, I just lied. Why did I lie? And I know why I lied, because I panicked. But usually when I panic, I don't lie. So why did I do it that time? And then I have to go back and say, well, actually, I said something, it wasn't really correct, and this is what's correct. Anyway, so I want him to he doesn't like to lie. Values kindness and helping, so he finds it valuable to help others and to be kind. He wants to change the world, so he doesn't believe that the world is okay like this. Like, he actually sees the problems in the world, and he thinks that we should change the world. Because the worst thing is when you're dating somebody who's like, you can't change the world, love, and it's like, oh my gosh, we are not compatible. Whoa. He is a sexual person, because obviously that would be my worst nightmares if he has all of those things, but he doesn't like to have sex, and he's like, well, I can't bite. Sorry. Okay, so he has to be sexual, meaning he likes to enjoy sexual things, and he wants to be sexually pleased, and he wants to sexually please me. He believes in soulmates, because I like a bit of that romantic thing of like, I think we're meant to be together. So I want him to kind of believe that. He falls deep in love, so he's not like this like shallow of like, oh yeah, I like her. It's like, no, I love her. Like, I love her. Like, to fall deep in love, like, and he's able to do that, because I know that some men, they're just like, yeah, okay, you'll do. And it's like, no. Like, I need deepness here. Oh. Anyways, and the last thing on my list is that he is successful, or he is trying to be successful in what he is passionate about. So he wants to fill his days with doing things that he is passionate about. So what do you think of my list? Is it impossible? Okay, so I know that I have a standard that's very high. Well, at least people tell me that, because if people didn't tell me that, I'll just think it's normal. It's like, no, I want this, and I'm not gonna have anything but this. And then so then I'll just, you know, keep looking until I find my list. And I know, because I was seeing a guy who's just like a bit negative in regards to my standards, and he would be like, well, you're never gonna find men like this. And I was explaining to him that he himself spends a lot of time with people who don't have these standards. So then therefore that's what he thinks men are like, because that's all that you spend your time around people like that. And actually the world is a massive place, and actually not everybody behaves like your friends or like you. So actually you're wrong. You behave like that. You think it's right that you behave like that, but that's not the whole world. And so then he was a bit saying that my standards are too high, and I said, well, I don't care, because these are my standards, and I'm always told that they're high, and I don't care. I will keep them. But sometimes like these people get past my standards just because I get bored and I just want to play with things, and then I do them, and then I'm just like, why did I do this? So speaking about these standards and why this list is a little bit impossible, is because like firstly, we don't know what life is, so we don't have this spiritual connection to ourselves and to life, so therefore we are a little bit shallow in the brain and in the feelings, because we don't really know what's going on. And then second of all, we live as if we are like, I am Nayna, like you are Derek, I don't know why I said Derek, you are David, you are Emma. And so then we live in our brains, and the problem with the brain is that the brain is very fleeting, and the brain changes its mind, and the brain has like opinions and stuff. And so then if you're dating a brain, then that brain can just switch its mind, and it could just switch its feelings, and then if it doesn't understand itself properly, it will just go down a whole road because it just changed its mind. And some people who are, let's say, they're a little bit more wise, they know that the brain is fleeting, and they don't really necessarily follow the brain. So if the brain is having a bad day, I'm not going to go making decisions on this brain today, because I know that those decisions, they're going to not benefit me. And then some people don't know that about themselves, and then they go making decisions when they're having a bad day. And if you're dating somebody who does that, then you're going to get your heart broken very easily, because people do things following their brain, and their brain is not necessarily the wisest one or the most clever one. So then you get yourself into rubbish because you're following your brain instead of following I guess, ideas that you have built. You have to follow your ideas and your feelings rather than your fleeting moment brain. And maybe some people disagree with that because they'll be like, aren't we supposed to be like having fun in life, and aren't we supposed to just be frivolous? And it's like, I just want to be more caring. I don't want to be frivolous. I want to be caring. I want to care for everything. I want to care for each moment. So no, I don't want to be fleeting. I don't want to be frivolous. And because I'm like that, I want my partner to match that. And what's sad, talking about this brain and being in this brain, is that what's sad is that even me with this high standards and how I am, and I'm so different to, like, you know, I'm not this, like, I don't care if you're rich. I don't care if you're successful, though I do want you to have passions and I want you to follow those passions. But I don't care if you've got money. I don't care what clothes you wear. I don't care where you live. I don't want you to buy me things. I don't want you to take me out to dinner. I don't want you to pay for things. Like, I'm just not that way. And I know that a lot of men see women that way. So, and I know that I'm very different. And even me being different and having these high standards, I still have my flaws. Of course I have my flaws anyway, but I have, because some flaws I'm okay with them. Like, for example, I'm very jealous. I'm very territorial. But like, for example, if we go out to dinner and you're over friendly with the waiter, I would be like, what are you doing? I'm sure that some men out there will be like, excuse me, you're not my boss. And no, I'm not your boss, but I also have problems with these things because it's like, what are you doing? I don't like it. Anyway, so what I'm saying is that even me, I have flaws in terms of, like, for example, I could be utterly in love with somebody, right? But then if things start to go a little bit wrong, which in most relationships they do, like you get into an argument, something goes wrong, you're disappointed in some way. And sometimes if that starts to happen, my eyes will start to wander and I will be like, that guy over there is sexy. And then I'll have to tell my brain, stop doing that. Okay, stop doing that. So I'll stop doing it. But then the next day it happens again. It's like, oh, that guy's sexy. Nayna, you have a boyfriend. Stop doing that. Okay, I'll stop doing that. And I have to keep reminding myself to not do things. And if the roles were reversed... What? Damn, if the roles were reversed... What? I will not speak to that person ever again, because I feel like cheating is also in the brain. It's not just a physical act, it's a mental act. And if you're cheating on me mentally, oops, which most of us do it, I don't want that either. I should have put that on my list, like, don't mentally cheat, which I think comes with like the kindness anyway. So then I hate the fact that even I'm like that. Like, if I'm going through a rough patch with somebody, I will be looking at people and kind of thinking, no, what would it be like to have that one? And oh, what would it be like to have that one? It's like, Nayna, stop it. You have somebody. And then I just force myself to not do it. And then some people will be like, oh, you see, you're forcing yourself to do things that you naturally want to do. And men, actually, a lot of men in particular countries and cultures, they believe in this thing of like, oh, this is just the way that men are. We're made to like have more than one or to wonder. And it's like, no, darling, because if you pay attention, when you're fully in love with somebody, you don't want nobody else. The problem arises is when you start having problems with them, then your mind starts to wonder. And that, I don't know what the answer to that is, because I don't know what the answer to that is yet. And maybe I should do a video about that so I could dive right deep into that, because I prefer with my perfect list to not come across these problems, because then I will be utterly in love with you forever, and then we don't come across these disappointments, therefore my eyes don't wander. Or if we come across these problems, they're not disappointing to the point where I am wondering with my eyes. And I feel like we stay with people where they've deeply disappointed us, and therefore we end up cheating on them because they've deeply disappointed us. So maybe it is about the disappointment. And if you can have problems with somebody who doesn't deeply disappoint you, then maybe your eyes won't wander. Yeah. You know? Ongoing subject. Anyway, so what is the answer to this subject? What am I concluding here? I guess, right, that there is a small percentage, let's say like 1%, even that's a big number, but 1% of people on earth are completely the list, right, that we want. And then if you end up having problems, they won't deeply disappoint you, therefore your eyes won't wander, and they are sexy enough to keep your interest in them and keep yourself hooked on them. There is a 1%. The problem is the world is very locked up, so we don't get to really travel the world, we don't get to really meet loads of people, and therefore we match ourselves with people who are not entirely the match, and then we try to make it work with those people. And I feel like that's why we end up cheating, or that's why we end up unhappy, because we're matching ourselves with not the perfect 1% out there. So maybe these relationships are possible. My nephew is on the balcony upstairs shouting. So maybe these relationships are possible, but we just don't get out enough to come across these people, and then we just settle for the next chemistry connection that we have with the next person that tickles our fancy, and then it ends up being not the one, and then you're like grabbing hold of them, kind of saying that no, we can make this work, and then you just make it work, but really it's not this perfect love. And me, I'm really not good at doing things that are not what I want them to be. So then I don't do it. So then I'm always like alone, and because I don't travel enough to meet these people. So I think that that's the answer. It is out there, it is possible. It is a low number, like 1%, and even that's a big number. And so then I can't find, I haven't found those people. I do think that that number will grow. So instead of 1%, it could be like 10% or whatever. I think it will grow the more we become more evolved, and the more we stop living as a brain and as humans, and know that we're more than just humans. And if we start living like that, then that number will grow, and then your matches will grow, and then you could pick one to stay with. And there is something, because when I was younger, I did say to my mum that I wish that like I could have all of them, and there was like loads of boys on the football pitch, and I said I want all of them. And my mum was a bit worried when I said that to her, and I didn't end up being that girl. I didn't end up being a sleep around type of girl, right? But that always made me question, like, God, do I want more than one? Because I also have this deep desire to settle down with one person and to be obsessed with one person. And actually, when I get with somebody, I do become quite obsessed with them, like in terms of like, oh, what are they doing? And I wonder what they're doing, and I look at my phone, I check my phone, and then I'll be like on their page, and I'm just like stalking them a little bit, and I'm and then who's your mum and who's your dad, and I become quite obsessed with them. And I feel like that is my natural state when I have become, whoa, when I partner with somebody. So I do think that there is something about having just one person and staying with one person, but I feel like for that to work in its best way, you have to be completely matched with all of the lists, and we let the list go sometimes, well, I don't, but I know loads of people do. I mean, I do, because I literally just did. For the past 3 years, I've been seeing somebody, and it's like, you have nothing on my list. Okay, you have like 1 or 2 things on my list, and you're attractive, and you're sexual, so okay, I'll play with you. And really, I shouldn't have done that. Oops. If he's watching this video, I am sorry. But I would say this to you, it's not a secret. Anyways, okay, so I hope that this video has been helpful for us to like actually become better partners for one another, and to actually change the world so we can get out there more, we could be matched more, and then we could connect to God, and then the percentage will grow, and then everything will be amazing. Okay, until next time, I will see you next time. All right, goodbye.